Let's talk about the economy for a moment here as we look at what Donald Trump's talking about when he comes into office. Several different things. He's talking about energy policy, lowering the price for Americans, but he's also talking about some big tariffs. Tariffs on BRICS nations, for example, if they proceed with plans to create a new international currency. So I want to bring in Philip Patrick now from Birch Gold. Philip, nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Let's start with gold. Gold doing well still, 2,600 plus, almost 2,700 here today. Silver at $32 an ounce. So these precious metals continue. I mean, they went up and they've held. They did not lose their value, and that's the whole point that you talk about here when you come on with me, is to protect your wealth, invest in the metals. They go up, and they seem to have locked in. I'll get back to the tariffs in a moment, but right now it seems pretty steady going into the new year.
Yeah, and not a huge surprise, right? The fundamentals really haven't changed. Obviously, we have a new president that will be at the helm soon, some new policies, but the problems are still here. And the markets, I think, understand very well that at least for the foreseeable future, precious metals are a very good place to hold on to wealth in a climate of de-dollarization, inflation, and potential recession on the horizon. So still doing well, and we expect them to do so heading into next year and beyond.
And when it was at the top, people had invested in gold to start the year. They would have seen their investment go up 38%. It's still at a third higher, 33% higher. I mean, hard to argue with 33% returns on your money, that's for sure. Silver also did very well for the year, so everybody's pretty pleased with everything that's gone on. Silver was up 35% for the year, so pretty good year for metals, no question. But let's talk about Donald Trump and the tariffs. The BRICS nations, they were trying, was Russia and other countries, to create this alternative international currency. It seems to have stalled, and I don't know where they are with it. But look, I saw Donald Trump on the world stage in France here over the weekend. It looks like the boss is back. It really does, Philip.
Listen, I agree vehemently, and it is very good to hear that the administration is seeing this as a priority. Let's not forget what the Biden administration referred to the BRICS de-dollarizing as a natural desire for diversification. Donald Trump and his team see it as a major problem, and they're correct. Now, in terms of 100% tariffs disincentivizing the BRICS, I'm not sure that's going to work, right? We've got to remember what drove de-dollarization. It was devaluation of the dollar, but also weaponization. And I think using trade as a threat reinforces the idea that the dollar is a yoke and that nations may be better off not wearing it longer term. However, what I would say is it's a good starting point. Longer term, we're going to need carrots as well as sticks. And I think carrots will come in the form of a stable US dollar. If they can stabilize the dollar, they can incentivize.
Well, and as you and I have talked about a number of times, regardless of what they do with the reserve currency, many governments around the world have been buying up gold and stocking their reserves, and that drives the price up. And look, gold is to protect your wealth, right? If the dollar continues to be devalued, or any currency for that matter, gold does not. And in fact, inflation drives the price of gold higher when it happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, that is absolutely correct. And these are the fundamentals we still have today. Now, President Trump and his team will work to fix the economy, but it's going to take time. And while they work to iron these things out, I think inflation will continue to smolder and precious metals will continue to increase. And as you said, and rightly so, central governments around the world are still buying in record quantities. Demand is at all-time high, so the fundamentals are very strong.
Right. So what else can Donald Trump do? Look, we're about 40 days, give or take, from him taking the oath of office and coming back in as the boss. And I'm hopeful that it'll help the economy. But look, it's still bumpy out there. It's still $36 trillion in debt. What does he need to do to protect Americans' wealth? What does he do to make sure that the dollar retains its global reserve currency status?
Look, I think slashing annual deficits, that's going to be the priority in curbing the spending. If we can do that, That, I think, will tell the rest of the world that we're serious about a stable US dollar. It's going to be tough for the administration to do, particularly given that we've elected supply side guys. These are growth guys. So the hope will be, if they can't slash deficits as quickly as hoped, at least they'll start to spend more productively. But longer term, we have to address the national debt. We have to curb the spending, and we have to build a manufacturing base. And as President Trump says,
Sure.
we've got to make America great again. But it's going to take some work, and it's going to take some time.
And I don't see gold going backwards at all. I see gold continuing to inch upward, maybe not in the dramatic move it made in 24. But again, it's to protect yourself from the devaluation of currency, no matter what that currency is. What about a possible trade war? Some are saying that could happen. What do you think the impact of that would be?
Look, I mean, the most common response to tariffs, as we might expect, are retaliatory tariffs, and at high levels like 100%. To put it into perspective, the current average tariff is about 1.5%. So when we talk about 100% tariffs, that's an aggressive move. Obviously, they're designed to address a trade deficit. The US still exports quite a lot, though, cars, right, aviation parts. So it'll affect those industries shorter term. Like I've said before, Trump's goal here is longer term to revitalize the economy. I think that's going to come with some shorter term pain, whether it's in the form of higher prices on the back of tariffs, whether it's in the form of trade wars. Listen, this administration is looking to...
It's another reason to be in gold. I mean, everything you're telling me, Philip, is another reason to be in gold. And by the way, folks, I've got a special for you today because you can get a free silver American Eagle coin for every $5,000 purchased from Birch Gold through the 20th of December. So we've got, some Christmas specials here. Please text Gruber to 989898. Get all the free information you can get on Birch Gold, why you should invest, and don't forget those free silver coins. Philip, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Steve.
Text Gruber to 989898. I'll be right back.